Hello students, let's go back dito sa ating discussion on percentage taxes. For this video lecture, dalawa po ang i-cover natin na OPT. Ang section 119 or 119 talks about the franchise tax. Sa section 120 naman, this is all about the overseas communication tax. Actually, maiksi lang yung section 120 kaya isinama ko na po ito dito sa section 119. Para yung 121 at 122 magkasama naman sila kasi related naman ito sa mga banks and then banks financial intermediaries. But that is a subject of a separate na discussion. Let's talk first on franchise tax. Ito yung mas marami nating i-cover sa lecture na ito as compared sa ating OCT. So, tax on franchise or franchise tax. Ano ba ito? Okay? Ito ay kinuha ko doon sa BIR website, yung tax code na available sa kanila. Please bear with me, no, kasi medyo may kaliitan. Pero allow me to read this to you. Ang sinasabi kasi sa section 119 ng tax code, any provision of general or special law to the contrary notwithstanding, there shall be levied, assessed, and collected in respect to all franchises. Tagalog ng franchise, prangkisa on radio and or television broadcasting companies. So, on the likes of GMA, ABS-CBN, whose annual gross receipts of the preceding year do not exceed 10 million. Meron lang typo doon sa Hindi ko lang ito ma-edit kasi screenshot lang mismo. Pero this is 10 million. In case na binabasa niyo po ito or visit po ninyo yung website ni BIR para sa tax code, 10 million po ito. The letter prevails over the numbers, So ang sinasabi dito, kung sakali man na hindi ka lalagpas ng 10 milyon. Okay? 10 milyong piso. Anong taon? Ito yun, preceding year. Yung nakalipas na taon. Okay? Mabubuwisan ka ng 3%. Okay? Subject to Section 236 of this code. You can visit what is Section 236 all about. A tax of 3%. Okay? Ibig sabihin, 3% franchise tax ang ipapataw sa mga may prangkisa ng radyo at telebisyon, kung ikaw ay hindi lalagpas ng 10 milyong piso nung nakalipas na taon. And on gas and water utilities, para naman sa mga may franchise ng gas and water utilities, a tax of 2%. Saan? On the gross receipts derived from the business covered by the law granting the franchise. Please take note, class, na yung nagbibigay ng prangkisa dito ay ang gobyerno, yung batas. Okay? Provided, however, that radio and television broadcasting companies referred to in this section ay merong option, shall have an option to be registered as a value-added taxpayer. So yung mga may franchise ng radio and television broadcasting companies, they have the option to register as a value-added taxpayer at bayaran yung 12% VAT. Provided, however, na kapag inavail, in-exercise nila yung option na yon, it is no longer irrevocable. Said option shall not be irrevocable. Wala nang bawian. Okay? The grantee shall file the return with and pay the tax due thereon to the commissioner or his duly. Ang sinasabi lang nito, in terms of the filing and the payment of the franchise tax sa pagbabayad sa BIR or sa kanilang authorized representative. Okay? Now, bigyan natin ito ng summary para mas masundan po ninyo. The grantor will always be the government. Although, pwede rin namang private companies. Kaya dito meron tayong separate na row for the private companies. Ano ang type of franchise? Radio, television, broadcasting companies, 3% na franchise tax, okay, or other percentage tax. O kaya naman, 12% VAT kung siya ay VAT registered, or if gross receipts is greater than 10 million for the preceding year. Okay? Kung lumagpas ka. Okay? Kung sakali man na hindi ka VAT registered pero lumagpas ka ng 10 million, 12% tayo dyan. Okay? Pag gas and water utilities, wala tayong option to register as 12%. Kaya nakalagay dito 2% other percentage taxes regardless of gross receipts. Okay? At ang iba pang mga types of franchises shall be subject to 12% VAT or 3% OPT under Section 116. Yung pinakauna natin pinag-usapan, kung sakaling siya ay non-VAT registered at yung gross receipts niya ay hindi lalagpas ng 3 million. Okay? So, yun po. For all other types of franchise granted by the government. Pero kung yung grantor ay nanggagaling sa private companies, 12% VAT or 3% OPT as applicable tayo dyan. Okay? I hope malinaw po yan. Bigyan natin ng illustration. We have TV Natin. Okay? Is a franchise grantee and the leading TV broadcasting company in the Philippines. Ang kanyang gross receipt for the preceding year and current years amounted to 12 million and 11 million respectively. The question is, magkano ang business tax due na babayaran ni TV Natin? Okay? Pause the video. Compute and then resume. Click play. After this, you will get this answer. Supposedly, that is your answer also. 1.32 million. VAT. Bakit VAT? Bakit hindi OPT or franchise tax? Kasi, tandaan ninyo, preceding year ang ating threshold at yung 10 million na yon. Yung preceding year mo, magkano? 12 million. So, matik. 12% ang i-compute natin. So, that is, the business tax is value-added tax, not the franchise tax. 1.32 million. Okay? Ang pagkukuha na natin ng tax base is yung 11 million, yung current year. Hindi yung 12 million. The 12 million is just used as reference in determining did we reach the threshold level of 10 million. Okay? Sana nasusundan po ninyo ito. Second question. Assume natin na yung revenues nung nakaraang taon, instead na 12 million, gawin nating 9 million. Magkano yung magiging business tax due ni TV Natin? Anong business tax due ito? Okay? Pause, compute, and play. The answer should be 330,000 other percentage tax or yung tinatawag natin na franchise tax. Kasi ang preceding year hindi umabot sa 10 million. So, ang kukunin natin ay 3% lamang ng 11 million as compared sa first question na value-added tax ito. Nasundan? Take note ha, ang basis natin as to whether a radio o television network, hindi kasama yung water, is subject. So, okay, no? So, radio and television network lang. Subject to VAT ba yan if the gross receipts of the preceding year ay na-meet yung ating 10 million threshold. Hindi yung current year. Another question or illustration. Radyo natin. Okay? A non-VAT registered radio broadcasting franchise grantee in 2018 whose annual gross receipts in 2018 amounted to 8 million. Si company, pinili nila na magpa-register under the VAT system. umpisa ng 2018. However, the entity's gross receipts for the next 3 years never exceeded the 10 million threshold. Hindi umabot, no? So, they decided na ibalik na lang sa pagiging non-VAT itong 2021. And the gross receipts for 2021 amounted to 9 million. Ang tanong, ano yung business tax natin dito at magkano? Although, ang tinatanong lang dito ay what is the business tax due? Okay? Pause again the video. Compute. Then play. Let's see if your answer is the same. It should be 1,080,000 pesos or 1.08 value added tax. Sir, why? Hindi ako si Sir Y. My name is Sir A. Joke lang. Corny ni Sir. Okay. Sir, why value added tax imbes na franchise tax? Oh, andito yung sagot yung guide natin sa baba. Kasi they opted to register as a VAT registered entity. Irrevocable na po yan, bawal na yan bawiin. So kahit na nagbelow ka ng threshold in the coming years, bawal ka nang bumalik. So ang i-compute sa iyo ay 12% ng 9 million. That is why it is not a franchise tax, but it is not a It is not a franchise tax, but a value-added tax. Because business tax is also, franchise tax, value-added tax, parehas po yan business tax. Maliwanag? Please don't be, don't be confused. Careful po tayo dyan. Dito naman tayo sa illustration number 3. Tubig natin. A water utility franchise grantee. For the past 10 years operating in QC or Quezon City. Ang gross receipts niya ay umabot ng 10 million. While receipts from renting out its facilities amounted to 10 million. So we will determine the business tax due. Okay? Pause the video. Solve for it. And then play. Your answer should be the following. And please identify also what type of business tax. Value-added tax ba yan or franchise tax? Kasi yung sagot po natin dyan ay 800,000 VAT. Computed as follow. Hindi siya 800,000 VAT. 800,000 business tax due. Okay, i-edit ko lang para hindi makalimutan. This should be 800,000 only. Okay? Why? Let me just share my screen. Okay, kita na? 800,000. Kasi hindi lamang po yan pang VAT, no? Yung 200,000 represents other percentage tax. Okay? Tapos, yung 600,000 represents your franchise tax. Bakit kanyo? Ano ba yan? Water utility, di ba? Water franchise grantee. Magkano ang ating percentage tax dyan? 2%. 2%, sorry na nagbibinata ako. Ako ay napiyok. So, tandaan niyo for radio, for television, ano yung ginagrant sa kanila? Magkano? 3% yung percentage tax. Pero pag water, that should be, ayan, hindi lang water, gas and water, 2%. Okay? So, kaya magkaibang business tax yan. 200,000 yung OPT, 600,000 yung VAT. Kung yung tinanong sa problem, determine the VAT due. Yung sagot lang natin, 600,000. Determine the percentage tax due. 200,000 lang. Pero ang tinutukoy dito, ang tinatanong, ang hinahanap, total business tax due, 800,000 pesos. Okay? So, I hope follow po ninyo ito. Alright, sige. So, tapos na tayo sa franchise tax. Proceed na tayo dito sa Section 120, yung Overseas Communications Tax or the OCT. Tax on overseas dispatch, message, or conversation originating from the Philippines. Tandaan po ninyo, nagmula sa Pilipinas. Okay? O, ito yung excerpt natin sa tax code, section 120. Let me read this to you, ha? Kasi masyadong maliit. Or you can check na rin yung mga tax code na meron kayo. Pero I suggest, no, kung may mga tax code man kayo, make sure na updated din for the create law. So better na i-check na lang po ninyo yung website ni BIR kasi may mga updates po yan. Okay? Because of the create law. O, persons liable daw. There shall be collected upon every overseas dispatch, message, or conversation transmitted from the Philippines by telephone, telegraph, telewriter exchanges or exchange. Yung iba dito parang obsolete na, no? Actually, yung iba dito hindi ako familiar. Yung telegraph, may mga telegrama dati. I don't know if you have heard of that. Wireless and other communication equipment services. Ito naman na yung mas applicable because of our technology, ano? As a tax of 10%. So, ang buwis natin dito ay 10%. Okay? 10%. Pag tinatagalog, ano, para tuloy tayong nagiging, ano, yung sitaguro ng ghost fighter. 10% kalakasan. Ano? On the amount paid for such services. The tax imposed in this section shall be payable by the person paying for the services rendered and shall be paid to the person rendering the services who is required to collect and pay the tax within 20 days after the end of each quarter. Okay? Ito mga tatandaan po ninyo dyan. The percentage tax here on section 120 is what we call the overseas communications tax na sinabi ko na rin kanina. Okay? Magkano yung porsyento dyan ng buwis? 10%. Tandaan po ninyo yan, mga yan. Okay? And what else? Meron tayong exemption. At yung exemption na yan ay ang mga sumusunod. Si government, yung mga diplomatic services, mga international organizations, and news services. At makikita po ninyo dyan yung info. Kung masyado itong maliit sa inyo, kung malabo ang mata ninyo, naliliitan kayo or hindi lang talaga nababasa, pakicheck na lang po sa website ng BIR. Now, hindi ko na po ito babasahin one by one. Okay, I leave this to you as a reading material because wala naman ako masyadong ibibigay dito na example. Okay? Nakalimutan ko lang, I think hindi ko na isama. Oo. Hindi ko lang nalagyan dito ng example. But paki-check, kindly check if you have materials, no? Or I'll try to give you a separate material for the example on this tax on overseas dispatch. Hindi ko na i-edit, hindi ko na encode dito sa material natin. Or maybe what I can do is for my actual students, mag-add ako ng isang slide para doon sa question and answer, no? Yung illustration para pag binigay ko na ito sa inyo, meron ng kasamang example. Okay? So hanggang dito muna tayo kasi the next slide will be on a separate video lecture on yung mga tax on banks and non-banks financial intermediaries. Okay? Maraming salamat. I hope you are learning, Please let me know if you are encountering any challenges. And if you have any questions. I'll see you once again on the next video lecture. Bye-bye.